Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Centurion Leadership Battalion podcast, your source of accountability, inspiration, and motivation to become your best and reach your fullest potential every day. Our motto, it's simple: to use our determination to crush our everyday leadership tasks so that we dominate in our delivery of services and products to our clients and achieve victory and personal growth, profitability, and creating environments for those around us to prosper. Let's get this show started.
Welcome back to the Centurion Leadership Battalion podcast. I'm your host, Alaina, and today we have Justin again. We will be covering yet another question from our audience, and we're very excited to do that. But first, I'll let Justin say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We are very excited to jump into today's question of why is experience required for leadership? And I will let you take it away, Justin.
It's a good question. I appreciate it. I recently just posted about it on my Instagram as well. Justin Bizzarro, Bizzarro, and you can find both of us on Instagram, as well as Alaina Hamade, in between. So you can look it up on the episode if you want to see how all of our names are spelled. But anyway, experience is an interesting thing because I think we assume a lot growing up, and I think young especially, I was 18 years old when Food Service Partners was started, and I just by happenstance broke my foot that summer in a summer job and ended up working in the basement with my father, building the company and help starting it and do the registration and build the models and start the cost analysis on the food and learn the business by luck. So I sort of been in the business the entire time and had a lot of luck in my life. But one of the things that I will say is, when I had learned everything from school, I came out with a head full of knowledge, and it was books. Like I always, in books, maybe not so great as a student, but I always was reading books that, about entrepreneurs, about leaders, about business, about why Kmart failed or why this happened or whatever, or, stock exchange or security exchange, anything I could to feed my mind in the way that I wanted to. It just meant that I wasn't really reading an art history book, which I probably should have been doing. But, I studied those things. They just weren't my passion. But so I have a head full of knowledge. And the problem with a head full of knowledge is it's often something that gives you overconfidence. So here's my dad. I'm working with him 18 years old. By the time I get out of school, I'm 22 years old. I've done another job here or there, but I've decided Food Service Partners is it. I'm going to do this. This is what I've done and been committed to. And I've done internships to gain more experience. This is what I want to do. And I come in with a huge head, but literally the humbling part is I have to start at the bottom. I literally started just, okay, go to Roanoke. You're working in the kitchen. You're going to start counting food and doing inventory. And you're going to get on the trucks and do delivery. And, it was just learning the business and doing everything that everyone else wasn't willing to. And I'd done it as a college student, but it was important because I came out of college thinking, I'm the man now, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to be the businessman at FSP, and and I've got this degree. But really the humbling part is I just had to fucking go back down to the bottom, and I had to start all over again. And it pissed me off. My father's like, no, you need to go do it. Like, you want to be an entrepreneur, you need to go learn what it's like. You need to learn every part of the business. And so 3 years I spent doing whatever until we got into New York and launched New York. And I got the experience of launching New York and everyone's skill set. And so experience is an amazing thing, and you should gain it. But you need to layer it, obviously, with that knowledge also, and constantly be learning. I constantly read books. It's just what I do. I don't really have interest in TV or TV shows. Like, I'll get hooked, and I rarely make it through a whole season. That's why movies are better for me. They're quicker. I don't really have the patience because I'm always like, what am I needing to do to grow and gain experience? A lot of it's learning through books and then going out and using my life and being an entrepreneur in FSP and Primal Rock or whatever it is, and trial and error, really, and trying these things and seeing how they work with my skill set. And so why is it important? Because experience is the gut check against the head check. The head check is the book knowledge. The head check is everything that I know and I can get it, but it doesn't give me confidence. The problem is that being book smart is a false sense of confidence. And it's 100% important to be an entrepreneur to learn your industry, but it's also important to gain experience in it. Even as a leader, even if you're not an entrepreneur, even in your business, in your community, whatever it is, as a teacher, there's a certain point where getting exposure and getting experience in those other things. Like if you're a teacher, I really volunteer to go teach in Africa or China or wherever, I don't care, but it'll change your perspective really quickly on how you teach. Believe me, I've been there, I've done it, and I'm not a teacher. It makes you really think about what you're supposed to be doing in the education of another human. And only experience will tell you that. Only experience will tell you what it is that people really need or really want, or what kind of leader you're going to be. And it takes years. And even that, 2011 comes around, I'm feeling stuck as an entrepreneur. We have all these businesses, they're growing. We're in restaurant equipment. We're doing fried chicken business all over the East Coast. We're building POS systems on iPads and iPad distribution, and things are rolling, and we have IT companies, and things are great. But as a human, I had gained all the experience I could at Food Service Partners and within the business. And no offense to my dad, but I had learned a lot of things by him that my book smarts, my experience, I was stuck and I was getting unhappy. And while everything was going well in my life, I was still missing a purpose or still missing growth. And it really meant that I needed to grow Food Service Partners, but I couldn't do it inside Food Service Partners. I had to go experience something different. And I had to make a choice to go back to graduate school and do a 1 MBA program that was at the University of North Carolina at the time. It's no longer there, but it gave me the ability to go live and spend time around the world and work on international teams and understand cultures and religion and all of that over a 27-month period or whatever it was. And so the thing about it was, school was easy at that point. It's funny, I didn't really care much for school before, and you can probably look at it, guys. I graduated undergrad with a 2.2 GPA. Great at the classes I loved, liberal arts, loved that I got a well-rounded education. It all stuck with me. But the things that stuck with me in the liberal education are what made me who I am today and the well-rounded person I am through experience. The book smarts didn't stick then because I didn't have the experience to apply them to in a liberal arts education for me. Like, I didn't need philosophy at the time. I'm glad I learned it and it planted seeds, and I was able to use it and really grow it through experience and then learning it again and reapplying it. But the thing I'm saying is there's a lot of things, and we come out of school and we're like, oh, I know so much. But really, like, I probably maybe 10, 20% actually useful information sticks with you if you don't have experience to go with it. If you're not growing like Alaina did and starting your own business and doing it while you're in college, or like I did while you're in college and have fruit stand or lawn mowing business or yard business, I don't know how you're applying it or you're getting any use out of your education, because there's not the experience part to go against the book knowledge. And anyone can see Alaina's 24 years old, and sorry, I'm going to glorify Alaina and a lot of other people, and Deborah was the same way. You see people that grow up that are entrepreneurs from day one, and by the time they're out of college, because they got the experience why they were getting educated, because life made it that way through hardship or whatever was going on, that those people are light years ahead of where they are. It's why Alaina is doing the podcast with me right now. She gained experience and book smarts. It's what I noticed. It's what separated her from the difference. Trevor, who's our photographer, stuck out like that. He had spent years of experience and then applying his knowledge and his learning of the cameras along the way. And now, like, as soon as I saw him, I knew, you're the man. You're the right person for the job. You have the growth potential. You've got the experience lined up with the book smarts, which gives you the confidence I need to move this business forward. And so I rambled on and didn't give Alaina a lot of time to talk there. But there was some praise there, obviously, because I think she's an amazing entrepreneur you are, Alaina. She's on the call. I don't need to do it that way. And, inside Food Service Partner, she's an amazing marketer and coordinator, but outside of it too, you guys should look. She's accelerated herself out by using street smarts at the same time she was getting book smarts. And so if you want to gain experience, like I said, I went back to graduate school because I wanted to excel the business more. I wanted to grow Food Service Partners more, and I wanted to find a greater purpose, which was always there to begin with. I just need to solidify it, which was to grow the human. To grow the human, to give a better earth for the plants, animals, and humans of the future. That's the part that went. The part that got solidified was the end. I always wanted to grow humans. I always loved animals, but I never attached it all together with what I did with food, with my greater purpose. And so by going back to school and learning that experience and now attaching all the book smarts, all the experience smarts, doing more book smarts, going into international experience, I have this great ability. And then now my confidence, some would probably call it cocky, some would probably call it blind stupidity. It happens. But as long as I keep my ego in check and I'm aware that I know nothing, and the more entrepreneurial journeys and experience I have, I know the less I know, because that is the truth. The more I experience, the more I expose myself to, the less that I realize that I know about other people, how they live, what's their hardship, what are they going through, what's their superpower that can benefit me or the universe. And so, Alaina's superpower, just to talk about it on the phone, is she's obviously someone who's very talented in marketing and understanding and communicating, probably better than me in all of those things. I just happen to have the experience that goes to where I have the credibility behind it. But I guarantee you that if you look beyond Alaina's age and you look at her experience and tied to her book smarts, you're going to see that as she gains more confidence, as you gain more confidence, she's going to become more confident, to be more vulnerable, be more authentic. And that's when business happens, when people can relate to you. And the way people relate to you is you never make it about you. I talk about me on this podcast because I'm telling a story that's relatable, but generally, I try to make it more about the other people coming in the room and answer their questions and find out, are you looking for a solution? Are you looking for sympathy? Are you looking for a sounding board? I live by those 3 S's: sympathy, solution, sounding board. And I don't know, there's probably more complications within it, and I'm probably making it too simple, but it works for me. And experience has told me the simpler you make it and the better you make the boundaries so people can have freedom within them and creativity, the more successful you are. So, Alaina, I wanted to let you have some time to talk there. I apologize.
Yeah, I appreciate all the recognition and all the kind words that you shared. I definitely agree with everything that you said, and just out of experience, that's a funny word to pick. I did not mean to pick that word, but just in my own life, I would say that a lot of what I learned in school and in college and going through business school, marketing classes, all of that, it really doesn't compare to when you get your hands on things yourself. And I think that we see that a lot in schools, even in elementary, preschools, things like that. Kids learn better when they are hands-on, when they are not just looking at something in a book or on a screen, but when they get a chance to experiment or work with something themselves. And I think adults are the same way, and sometimes we tend to overcomplicate it, but you never will really have the full grasp of what it is that you're trying to learn or do until you get your hands dirty and get your hands on it. I think that goes for social media in terms of marketing and things that I do. I think it goes for anything. There's so many times and examples where I have not understood something or someone's explaining something to me, but it's until I can do it myself, until I can put what I've been told into action, that I really understand it. And I think that just having experience is what makes someone a good business person, or, there's only so much you can be told. And people just do so much better from being 2 years old until they're an adult with just trying things themselves. So I think kind of that goes back to the delegating episode where we talked about, how you can delegate to people in your teams and in your homes, etc. I think that people learn best when they're given the tasks to complete, and that really does make or break someone's success.
And I agree with you, Alaina. And the funny part is we think we get credibility by experience, and we then use our experience as to try to leverage the credibility, and we do it wrong. The important thing is that credibility actually comes from your confidence. It's not in selling yourself or selling the experience that you have. And so experience is important in that it gives you credibility, but not in the sense that you want to leverage the experience. It gives you credibility in that it gives you confidence, and people are attracted to confidence. It's one of those vibration things where it doesn't quite make sense in the human mind. Like, I should tell everyone how great I am and how great I'm in the experience, and they'll trust me and they'll believe me. But that's not true. Like, the more I boast about it, actually, the less they believe me and the less they trust my experience. Because the human mind is skeptical to begin with, because it's primal of anyone that boasts too much that they're going to take advantage of me and they're going to eat me or they're going to kill me or they're whatever. So the reality is we have to look at it differently. We have to take it that we get experience to get credibility, not to leverage the experience, but to leverage the confidence and the knowledge that comes with it when asked. And really, when you get confident, you realize that it's not about you. Ever.
I think
which is weird because, go ahead.
I think also when you're even looking, for a job or whatever it may be, a lot of times in your interview, people won't ask you, what's your degree, what's your whatever. They say, how many years of experience do you have, in this field? And I think that speaks a lot, because you can go to school, you can take all the classes, whatever, but people really seem to know and understand that it's when you yourself have, completed something or done something outside of those courses, really just learning it by yourself, that kind of gives you that experience that you need to be successful at something.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. Sorry, I had the thing muted. But it's like, actually, I would just drop it there. I thought that was awesome, Alaina. I don't even want to add to it.
Well, thank you. I just
think
had
that's awesome.
thought and I wanted to share it. But I think that, as we've shared, just getting yourself out there, exposing yourself to new environments, new tasks, new things, can really help you become the leader that you want to be.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. Thank you, Alaina. I thought that was awesome. And follow us on Centurion Leadership Battalion on Instagram and Facebook. And Alaina, take us home.
Thank you guys so much. You can connect with us and send us any of your questions over on Facebook or Instagram, and we look forward to you joining us next week.
Thanks, everyone.